babwela basenda head office watwala ku Lusaka ababonki bachepa ekula wana market mule muno kuteko mao ya tomato ya sukasha sani yabola pata pala la busta. Number 2, ngamalolesha Zambian Airways ele kusunga kwa define na Zambian Airways kuwa wabe ba marketia na basutu bende chomule chulila mula nduwa kuti aba bomfi dawa jepa. Number 3, basibo 7 aba bomfi wabuteko wale chula baba munko mgole chakapela makufi. Government yali bakwatilo pia na bo bakongola kuti bengekala lero government ile tokubalipira na wale sio kuipe kwa bakongola nomba nakulu mutinta ukashashani tomato unda wamezika kumakwe. So nomba mfwe icha kubalirapo ilya Zambia Correction Service wa prisons tuleiwesha kuno kukabwe kuno kukabwe wale kwa kutumia Zambia Correction Service kuno kukabwe awa jama minister na MP wa walungu wa president kulia takuwa wa maindustry ama mainyali sala abantu balachula wa Zambia Correction Service ewa twako fye na bafola aba bonti na economy aba bwino isepo alimisa kama na ifanga batonte iya Zambia Correction Service kulewesha head office kuno kukabwe. Number 2, to a large revamp ama operations ya Zambian Airways. Ichalo ya sungu batila developing nations ama developed countries yonse wale bomtia railway system. Ichalo tachukule iyo ukuwa proper railway system. So tuwesa mta revamp Zambian Airways. Pakuti ku Zambian Airways nako abantu wengine kwa isha nchito. Ngabaingia abantu isha nchito banyine fwe. Amakwe bote agalaikala yo. Wasima shopu amakwe bote agalaikala yo. Pantunomba nis number 1. Mulungu's textile toa ilungi sa wino. Tuwaidika mplan. Number 2. Zambia Correction Service. Tuwaiweke chapo. Number 3. Tuwawika po. Nawa wotu wanchito. Hawa wotu wabu teko. Tulea samungu sta implement debt swap. Shidenko ngole government ya mikwatila na kuyamwa kongola turechita debt swap pakutila ati mwingeka la bwino. Mwewa bonti wancho tule mforuse no bulanda. Basibo seba tule mforuse. Dignity punch to yani ya. Ifwe ngatonse. We will ensure that we motivate the civil servants. The civil servants, including men and women in uniform, we will make sure that we motivate you. We give dignity to your work environment and dignity at household level. Aba nensu, aba mubuteko wa civil servants, ama soldier wa wakapogola. Tule milayo kuti, ilia stagnation, ama salaries yali stagnant for a number of years. Mweba jawa chindama. Mwesa ngoma basi, panta mkote miotoka. Ubuteko wesu, make sure we motivate you, we give you all the equipment and materials that you need. Ama uniform wa yasuma, na maya ndasuma kazi kwa mbile. Ave ingewa nensu wale ikala, muuchinda mikuno. Kuna kurusa kawaya, katusina.
Brian Mundawile and his running mate Makebi Zulu were in Kawe yesterday, and that clip we just saw is some of the things that we say during their campaign and their rally that did take place in Kawe. You're watching the Royal Breakfast Show on Crown TV. It's a lovely Tuesday morning, and you're watching us on DSTV channel 277, Go TV channel 2389, and Topstar 543 Star Times. We are also live on Facebook and YouTube, and that is Crown TV Zambia. My name is Zambala Simaliki, and we are glad that you are tuned in to the Royal Breakfast Show. We have a jam-packed show for you, and we want to ensure that you are a part of the conversation by calling us on 0979-958392. That's 0979-958392.
Yes, indeed. We have a fully packed show, and of course, later on the show, we're going to be looking at what is making the news in the newspapers for this morning. We are also going to be talking about the World Cup. Of course, Cape Verde yesterday did pull up a surprise result when they held Spain to a 0-0 draw. Most of the people are praising goalkeeper Vozinha for his performance yesterday that made sure that Spain failed to score against Cape Verde. Of course, we are also going to be looking at issues to do with betting. And of course, we do want to hear from you. We do want to get to hear what your thoughts are as regards what you're going to be discussing this particular morning. The number is 0979958392. You can also go to our Facebook page, which is Crown TV Zambia. Go to the comment section and leave your contributions there. Would really love to hear what your thoughts are, even on Facebook. My name is Makokwa Kozi.
It is a really good morning, and despite us coming a little late, and we sincerely apologize for that, we are ready for a really exciting show. But for now, we're going on a very short break. When we get back, we get right into the daybreak news. Good morning and welcome to the Daybreak News on Crown TV Zambia. President Hakainde Hichilema has appealed to the people of Luapula Province to renew the mandate of the UPND in the August general elections, saying continued support for his administration will ensure the sustained implementation of key development programs such as free education and the Constituency Development Fund. The head of state met the call Monday morning shortly after arriving at Mansa Airport, where he was welcomed by Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Prudence Chinamakangwa, government officials, party leaders, and scores of residents. Addressing the gathering, President Hichilema cautioned voters against voting for what he described as recycled politicians.
President Hakainde Hichilema has arrived in Mansa district of Luapula Province for a one-day working visit where he is expected to engage with the UPND provincial structures. The head of state was welcomed at Mansa Airport by the provincial permanent secretary and the UPND chairperson alongside party officials and government representatives, and not forgetting scores of residents who gathered early to receive him.
You are welcome to Luapula. Luapula is your second home. We are very excited to receive you, Mr. President. We know you have a very busy schedule going around the provinces to meet your members so that you can encourage them as we give you a second mandate to continue delivering on your promise for this country.
Addressing the crowd, President Hichilema appealed to the people of Luapula to renew the mandate of the UPND, saying continuity is key to sustaining development programs such as free education and the Constituency Development Fund.
We deliver for you, but we also know that although we've delivered a lot of things, we still have a lot of work to do ahead of us. That's why we are asking you to give us another mandate to continue delivering.
We want our children to remain in school under free education.
He further cautioned voters against politicians who have failed them before.
Zambia to change it. Let's not be cheated. The same people who destroy the economy want to come back. What do they want to do in government? We went to register fix. Very simple. We work together. We continue delivering for the people of Zambia.
After engaging with the UPND structures in a closed-door meeting, the president is expected to hold a similar engagement in Kasama. Chikondi Piri, Crown TV News, Mansar.
Now, opposition leader Brian Mundubile says he will respect and work with President Hakainde Hichilema once he becomes former president, pledging not to persecute him. Speaking at a mega rally in Makululu, Kabwe, Mundubile said he would utilize Hichilema's experience by assigning him duties that require a former president. He also promised to restore the Ministry of Traditional Affairs to strengthen the role of and dignity of traditional leaders. For youths, Mundubile pledged to establish a youth entrepreneurs desk at State House to improve access to loans and empowerment opportunities.
They've continued drawing huge crowds since the official launched their campaigns on the Copperbelt province. Opposition leader Brian Mundubile and his running mate Makebi Zulu were greeted by a sea of supporters as they headlined a mega rally in Kawe densely populated Makululu township. The duo used the platform to deliver what they described as a message of hope, economic revival, and national unity to residents.
Muliba youthi, muliba laba nensu ba small scale miner, babetatu ba jerabo, muliba youth mwinyomo. Number 2, mkonkele ba farmer, bashimulimi nimiko mkaimwe. Number 3, mkonkele wa maketia, wanyinefwe, wanakulumutinta, nemisepela, pamakasa, nimwe mkonkele. Number 3, mkonkele wa street vendor, aba nensu babaluisha pamusebo. Wa bus driver na wayango driver na imawele nimiko mkalelo.
Mundubile says his administration will prioritize restoring the dignity of Zambians by improving livelihoods and creating opportunities for all Zambians.
Wa UPND mweba nensu ndemieba, na imbe ne mwikwata mwenso, ukulusa kwena mulelusa, ukuwalia kwa ni president, lelo mwikwata mwenso yo, mwikwata mwenso wane, mwiyambo kulalonga tupe mbutuke yo.
The opposition leader also pledged to respect President Hakainde Hichilema once he leaves office, saying he would uphold the integrity of the office of the former president.
Even if you have mismanaged this country, I'm promising you as your brother, nishaka kuchushe yo, nikakuchindika. Nikakuchindika. Mkalamba wandi wikwata mwenso yo. Wikwata mwenso mkalamba wandi. Mkakusunga nga former head of state. Bali kano kashaka tukwete former head of state. Iwo kabanga former head of state. Kuma meeting, kuma kumonkala kupela nendeke. Na tukabia ku meeting. You are my brother. One Zambia!
In a bid to win over young people and farmers, Mundubile promised to return economic opportunities in the mining sector to local youths and implement policies aimed at restoring the dignity and productivity of Zambian's farming community.
Tungulu shari sapo kama mai. Mweba nensu wa UPND leaders. Mweba poka bantu wa mamai. Kumukushi. We muntu from nowhere ninkwatama shares. From nowhere ninkwatama shares. Muleta mfya bantu. Imisepela. Bambayana batata wale bomba. Wale sango wika shuma batamfya. Yali ayonsi ya mamai nima mfya ngelesha. Tule miwesesha.
Area, running mate Makebi Zulu accused the UPND administration of failing to deliver on key campaign promises.
Atiyo bunga tukabwesha lomba bunga buleni nafye. Efyo bachitire bakainde beberawe nekutuna misunga bwino. Umufundo mukalapo ko bwingi. Kafuma pali 6 bags mukala senda 10 bags. Mulapoka 10 bags. Lomba twakani nafye pambale. Twakani nafye makapu.
Several alliance partners and former cabinet ministers also took the podium, rallying support for the opposition ticket and urging voters to back what they called a new vision for Zambia. Blessings Mkanda were reporting. Crown TV News, Lusaka.
Now in other stories, a medical negligence and misconduct lawsuit involving Alice Makani Vantra and her husband Ismail Vantra has taken a new turn after Pearl of Health Clinic and Dr. Reward Sibanda filed a defense and counterclaim disputing the allegations leveled against them. The defendants have denied all claims of inappropriate conduct during medical consultations and procedures, maintaining that the statement provided to Alice Vantra was professional. I beg your pardon, that the treatment provided to Alice Vantra was professional and consistent with accepted medical standards. According to court documents, Pearl of Health Clinic and Dr. Sibanda have outlined what they describe as the actual sequence of events, including Alice's visits to the facility for contraceptive treatment and other medical consultations.
Pearl of Health Clinic and Dr. Reward Sibanda have denied allegations of medical misconduct and inappropriate behavior brought against them by Alice Makani Vantra and her husband Ismail Vantra, arguing that the claims are false and unsupported. In their defense, the defendants admit only that Alice was a patient at the clinic in 2022. They state that she received a contraceptive implant in October 2022 and returned in June 2024, complaining of continuous bleeding that had lasted for about a month, prompting her request to have the implant removed. According to the defendants, the implant was removed and Alice herself requested that an intrauterine device be inserted as an alternative form of birth control. They say she later scheduled an appointment for the procedure in July 2024. Dr. Sibanda denies making any unwelcome remarks to Alice and rejects allegations that he acted inappropriately during the procedure. The defense explains that the use of a drape was standard medical practice and that it was only lifted to allow for the insertion of the IUD. The doctor further states that discussions regarding vasectomy were purely medical and arose because Alice wanted advice on whether it would be safe for her husband to undergo the procedure as a form of birth control. He also denies ever telling her that their lives were destined to be together. The defense adds that when Alice later returned with concerns about pelvic inflammatory disease, which had reportedly been diagnosed by another doctor, he merely advised her on medication and did not suggest that the condition had been caused by her partner. However, the defendants contended that the situation was taught differently from how it has been presented by the plaintiffs. They allege that Alice repeatedly made unwanted advances towards Dr. Sibanda and that when he refused to engage in any intimate relationship with her on ethical and professional grounds, she became upset. The defense claims she then involved several third parties in an attempt to persuade the doctor to enter into a relationship with her, but these efforts failed. According to Dr. Sibanda, Alice later stopped attending consultations but continued communicating with him through WhatsApp, where she allegedly discussed problems in her marriage and continued making advances towards him. The defendants further claim that she eventually resorted to blackmail in an attempt to extort money from them after her efforts to pursue a relationship with the doctor were unsuccessful. In their counterclaim, the defendants argue that Alice was struggling with confidence issues arising from marital problems and maintain that no physical or sexual relationship ever existed between her and Dr. Sibanda. They insist that she was never exploited, coerced, or induced against her will, and that the medical care she received was never compromised. Dr. Sibanda also claims that once he recognized the risk of professional boundaries being crossed, he terminated all informal communication with her. He further alleges that on several occasions, Alice followed his vehicle and demanded a sexual relationship with him as a form of closure. But as a result, the defendants argue that the plaintiffs have caused serious damage to their reputation through what they describe as malicious falsehoods. They are seeking damages, legal costs, interest, and a court order restraining the plaintiffs from publishing or causing the publication of similar allegations in the future. Kundej. Sachingalesu. Ngandu. Reporting for Crown TV News in Lusaka.
Now, what started as a passion for football, the hope of making quick money through betting, has landed a 33-year-old man of Lusaka's Mtendere Township before the Charleston local court. Mwiche Hamuwanga is facing marital troubles after his wife, Patience Chitoshi, accused him of neglecting his family due to an addiction to betting and alcohol. According to Patience, Mwiche became heavily involved in a bid to win money, but what initially appeared to be a harmless pastime gradually turned into a gambling addiction that left him burdened with debts. She told the court that her husband's betting habit has negatively affected his responsibilities as a husband and a father, alleging that he spends more time gambling and drinking than caring for his family.
Football betting has become one of the many hobbies enjoyed by most men. However, what many fail to realize is that what begins as harmless entertainment can gradually turn into an addiction with devastating consequences. For 33-year-old Mwiche Hamuwanga, what started as an innocent attempt to make money after losing his job eventually brought more problems than rewards, particularly in his marriage. Hoping that football betting would provide him with an income, Mwiche became deeply involved in the habit, which soon began affecting his relationship with his wife, 34-year-old Patience Chitoshi. According to Patience, Mwiche's obsession with betting reached alarming levels. On one occasion, he allegedly woke her up in the middle of the night by splashing water on her while she slept, demanding money to place bets. She told the court that he would threaten to chase her from the house if she refused to comply. Out of fear and a desire to keep peace in the home, Patience says she often gave in to his demands and even borrowed money for him to continue betting. She further tells court that Mwiche forced her to use her payslip and personal details to obtain loans from various lending institutions, which accumulated to more than 60,000 kwacha. However, the betting problem was not the only issue that brought the matter before the court. Patience explains that while men are usually hired to assist with household chores, cooking, cleaning, washing, and caring for children, Mwiche took all responsibilities, losing his job. At the end of each month, he would allegedly demand payment from her for looking after their own children. Having already developed fear of her husband, Patience says she paid him whenever he made such demands. She also informs the court that she had on numerous occasions sought intervention from Mwiche's family in an effort to resolve their marital problems, but all attempts proved unsuccessful. Left with no other option, she eventually took the matter to court. Upon hearing his wife's testimony, Mwiche did not waste the court's time. He admitted his wrongdoing, apologized repeatedly, and pleaded for a second chance. He acknowledged that his behavior had been unacceptable and told the court that he needed counseling in order to become a better husband and father. Although Mwiche apologized several times during the proceedings, Magistrate Charity Milambo advised him that true remorse is demonstrated through actions rather than just words. She urged him to prove that he was sorry by changing his behavior. Magistrate Milambo granted the couple, particularly Mwiche, 3 months to work on reforming his conduct, while Patience observes whether there is genuine change. She advised Patience that if his behavior does not improve within the period, she would return to court and pursue a divorce. After stepping down from the dock, the couple embraced as a sign of reconciliation and hugged each other. For Mwiche, the experience appeared to be a wake-up call, as he finally came to realize that football betting was simply not worth the damage it had caused to his family and marriage. Kundej. Sachingelesu. Ngandu. Reporting for Crown TV News in Osaka.
Government has called for urgent climate preparedness across Africa following projections showing an over 80% chance of El Nino event developing later this year and continuing into early 2027. Speaking on behalf of the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment at the opening of the 21st Africa Continental Climate Outlook Forum in Lusaka, Director of Human Resource and Administration, Rainford Simumbwe, says early preparation is critical to reducing impact of climate shocks.
After suffering a devastating drought in 2024 that disrupted food production, reduced water levels, and triggered energy challenges, Zambia and other African countries could once again re-experience this predicament. It is for this reason that climate experts have gathered in Lusaka for the 21st Africa Continental Climate Outlook Forum to discuss preparedness measures and strengthen climate services ahead of the projected El Nino event. Speaking during the meeting, experts warned that projections show an over 80% chance of El Nino conditions, strengthening later this year and exceeding into early 2027. This development may yet again risk droughts, floods, and other extreme weather events across the continent.
Current forecasts from global producing centers suggest the possibility of another El Nino event developing during the latter part of 2026. While uncertainty remains regarding its magnitude and localized impacts, the science is sufficiently clear for us to begin strengthening preparedness measures. The cost of early preparation is always far lower than the cost of late response.
Our experience with the El Nino has not been pleasant. We know that in 2015 to 2016 we had another event, and during that time Southern Africa as well as West Africa, they were actually battered by drought, while East Africa had experienced flooding.
With climate shocks becoming more frequent, experts say strengthening early warning systems and translating climate information into practical action will be critical in protecting lives and economies.
Climate projections indicate a high chance of El Nino strengthening in the last half of this year and possibility of its extension to early 2027 with a probability of above 80%. It's my hope that this forum will create a common understanding of climate drivers and anticipated impacts.
You heard about the term ENSO, the El Nino in Southern Ocean, which is happening now. And all part of the world, all centers, all people are discussing about it. And we think as Africa, we need also to talk about it, but to tailor it in our context of Africa. So we are very happy with the leadership of AUC to have such a vision for Africa to ensure that we will take the opportunity of ENSO coming in.
The government of the Republic of Zambia has since emphasized that investments in weather monitoring, early warning systems, and climate resilience remain key to ensuring communities are better prepared and able to respond before climate hazards become disasters. Reporting for Crown TV News in Lusaka, Chanda Mwango.
And in sports news, the football fraternity has expressed concern over Coach Nora's continued absence from the national team. With the Women's African Cup of Nations kicking off in July, Nora is reported out of the country. Soccer Fans Association Chairman Yota Mwanza says this cause for worry as it will affect the team's performance at the tournament. We have details in the following report.
The 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, the WAFCON, kicks off on 25th July 2026. It will go all the way until August 16, 2026. The Copper Queens began preparations with the Four Nations tournament, which was held in Dola at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium. The Copper Queens won the tournament after beating Zimbabwe 3-0 in the final. However, despite the win, a number of soccer fans have expressed concern over the team's performance. In their first game against Kenya, they played to a 1-0 draw.
Although when you look at it, the first game was much of a struggle. That ended 1-1. Then the team had to win on post-match penalties. Only into the second game against Zimbabwe did the team play well and won 3-0. But then they should have been a continuity into that. The coach should have stuck around and be able to prepare the team for a major tournament of the WAFCON type. You all know that the group where we are, there's Nigeria there, who last time around were able to butcher us.
Another concern the soccer fans have is the continuous absence of the Copper Queens coach, Nora Hutley. Nora Hutley has continuously been absent from the Copper Queens. After the Four Nations tournament, Nora went back to Switzerland. Soccer Fans Association's chairperson, Nyota Mwanza, says this is a source of worry for the Copper Queens. He says this might negatively impact the team's performance at the tournament.
It must be a worry not only to to us as fans, but even to the Zambian FA as well, because they need to look at the kind of person that they have employed, that is into their employ, who must, in all certainty, must be able to stick around, be able to follow the guidelines that the Zambian FA have given him. For starters, I think she must be able to look around for talent. I know some will be able to argue that the season is out, it's on recess, but sometimes call the players that did well in the previous season, sit down with them, into camp, into training, assess them, and be able to look at them. I think this is what he's supposed to do, as opposed to a situation where we have now, which is a copy and paste from the old players that we all know, the players that Bruce Mape left, and these are the players that are coming into the Zambian national team.
And soccer analyst Pancharello Tama says the FA should ensure that they work on this issue of her absence.
Her base should be in Zambia, which for now is not the case. So what the Football Association of Zambia should do is that they should obviously maintain her. Those are basically, based on how things are turning out, those are basically the terms of her contract, I believe. And maybe in future, if we are bringing in a national team coach, we must make sure that they are mostly based here in Zambia and not just coming for national team assignments.
The Copper Queens will be looking forward to qualifying for the World Cup the second time in a row, having qualified for the 2023 edition. For Crown TV Sports, Lenosi Victoria in Lusaka.
On that sports news, we come to the end of today's Daybreak News. Don't forget to join us again at exactly 12 hours when we bring to you the midday news. On behalf of the entire news team, we'll take a break and we'll be back with the Royal Breakfast Show.
On a busy day in Lusaka, right in the middle of a vlogging, Mr. Simon Mwela's phone battery died. Well, he knew what to do next. He called Zambia's top cell phone and accessories dealer. In a flash, problem solved. Across town, Dr. Sia Twambo was getting ready for a presentation when he realized that his PA forgot something. A quick call to Mobile City and his projector screen was delivered in no time. Meanwhile, Vana Fiasasa was about to leave for the village when she remembered she needed a phone upgrade. One call to Mobile City and a new phone arrived just in time. Vana Fiasasa snapping a selfie before hitting the road? But wait, I thought the other guys were in a hurry. For free, fast and reliable delivery, trust Mobile City. Beware of scammers. Mobile City Delivery. You order, we deliver.
Are you passionate about making a positive impact on communities? Do you dream of a career that combines psychology, social justice, and community empowerment?
Enroll in our June 2026 intake for the Diploma in Child and Adolescent Mental Health, community-based work with children and youth.
Dive into a transformative journey of learning and advocacy.
Immerse yourself in courses that explore human development, social policy, and diverse perspectives. Gain hands-on experience through community projects and internships.
REPSI is a TVETA-accredited institution and offers all programs through online situated distance learning. You'll be empowered with the skills to create real lasting impact in communities.
Join us in shaping a brighter, more inclusive future for children and young people. Enroll with us for a program that equips you with the skills to create real, lasting impact.
To start your application, email us admissions.zambia@repsi.org or www.repsi.org or our Facebook page @RepsiZambia or call 0770-707-924. Together, let's make a difference through love, care, and protection for children.
Everyone wonders why I'm always jovial and happy. Every day, every time. At work, even under pressure. At play, always under control. Even with Bay, I always shine. And today, I get to share my secret. My secret companion, Best Kombucha, gives me the energy but also boosting my immune system as I go by my day-to-day activities.
Toileta mami we best kombucha sonwemu. Toileta daddy we best kombucha sonwemu. Iye nani best kombucha. Best kombucha. Iye nani mo kombucha.
Now you know.
Best kombucha. Iye nani best kombucha. You drink best kombucha.
Welcome back to the Royal Breakfast Show on Crown TV. As you know by now, we like to kickstart our morning to see how the Zambian kwacha is faring against other major currencies. Keep in mind that these rates are indicative and they do vary from bank to bank. But as at 6 a.m. on the 16th of June 2026, this is what our money markets looks like. The Great British Pound is currently buying at 23.42 and selling for 23.89. The South African Rand is buying for 1.08 and selling for 1.10. The Euro is at 20.26 and selling for 20.65. The United States dollar seems stable at 17.43 and is selling for 17.77. That is how the Zambian kwacha is doing against other major currencies. Mr. Kozi, what are your thoughts regarding that?
Well, we have always spoken about how the kwacha has been strong and performing well the past few years. Just last week, we were told that it was voted the best performing currency, and we see that it has maintained in the 17 brackets against the US dollar. And this has been attributed to quite a lot of things as regards the kwacha's performance. The decision to start receiving the Chinese yuan when they pay their taxes, and also the copper prices and copper production on the copper prices on the international market and copper production in the country. Of course, this has given us a lot of forex, right. And we are now talking about a bumper harvest. Of course, we are going to be exporting some of this maize if the government allows, and that also give us a lot of forex. But also we must be cautious when it comes to maize, because we are told that we are faced with an El Nino this year.
That's right.
So you might want to ensure that you reserve some food for the coming years, because the season might not be as good as this one. But 15 million 5 million tons of maize is one of the highest, if not the highest, that the country has recorded as regards harvests. So I'm hoping that the country can continue on this trajectory, especially the performance of the kwacha, and then things might get better. But the most important thing that people talk about is how is it reflecting on the lives of the Zambian people.
Before we even get to what today in history is like, Mr. Kosi, it's a bit concerning, especially for people that run in homes and you're hearing of things like El Nino and these effects of climate change, right? And at household level, how could you then just preserve food or just be able to get enough food to sustain you long term? For all the people that are concerned, especially watching that news clip, that's the first thought that crossed my mind. I was thinking to myself, keeping in mind that El Nino might hit Zambia by end of the year, right, into 2027. How do you make sure you're protected, or is this something that can be curbed or dealt with at national level?
Well, the staple food for Zambia is maize,
right.
and we are told that now this year we are having a bumper harvest. So I think that the first level of food security is at household level. So if you are a farmer and you have 15 bags of maize, you ensure that you sell only 5 or only 10 and leave 5 for consumption at home. So those that are managed to cultivate something will not sell or will not have to sell everything to the Food Reserve Agency. They will have to ensure that they keep something for home, because the coming season is not going to be as good as the previous one. And also government should, the maize that is going to be bought from farmers, government should be very cautious as regards exporting this maize. And government are the best to store food for this particular country, because they have bigger silos that they can store this food from. And also working together with the Food Reserve Agency, I think that there is need for maize for the country to store a bit more of maize before we think of exporting. The previous drought that affected Zambia, we saw quite a lot of problems. But one thing that government ensured is to ensure that there's nobody who died out of lack of food. And I think that really showed that the government can store food for people. But the previous one, unfortunately, there was no food that was stored. If you remember very well, there was maize that was exported to Tanzania, is it, or to Congo, and that's what most of the people put the blame on, the sale of that particular maize. But now that everybody knows, government knows, farmers know, I think that everyone will be in a position to ensure that they store food.
I think it's also good and nice that certain initiatives are being made to just inform people about this experience that might be happening and this hit of El Nino that might take place, even Zambia being affected, with an understanding that the southern hemisphere, where we lie, we will be affected by this, but also just making sure, as you've mentioned, we find ways to be able to sustain our family, because the last thing anyone wants is to starve, you know. But away from that, I know that is one of the things that we will touch later on in the show this morning. Let us have a look at what happened today in history, keeping in mind that today is the 16th of June 2026, and we would love to know if it is your birthday. Send us a message. We want to be able to wish you a happy birthday, but away from that, we want to engage with you, our viewers. If any story did stand out for you during the news, make sure you do send us a text on 0979-958-392. But for now, let us have a look at what is happening today in history. That is exactly what happened today in history on the 16th of June. Now, what stands out for me, Mr. Kozi, is obviously the election of Thabo Mbeki as second Republican president of South Africa. And I think it was a very interesting time for the South Africans and a very exciting time. And today, the 16th, is when they had their second president elected into a democratic South Africa.
He went on to become an iconic man.
That's right.
For South Africa, Thabo Mbeki. He was elected in 1991. 1999, became second president from Nelson Mandela.
That's right.
Who was elected in 91, if I'm not mistaken, as president of the Republic of South Africa. Today in history takes me back also to South Africa. Today is called the Day of an African Child. This is a day when protesting students, the South African school, were shot at by police.
That's right.
They were protesting the use of Afrikaans as the language of instruction in schools, in black schools. South Africa was in this era where the apartheid era, where there was racism that saw Africans are treated in a certain way. And this time around they were being forced, government then had said the language of instruction should be Afrikaans. And the pupils were protesting, and some pupils were shot at and died. So it's a day to remember, really, in South Africa.
I think it really is a very sentimental day, and just also taking me back to the very same with South Africa. One thing that stands out for me, especially when I think of Thabo Mbeki, there's a statement that he made, and I always watch this clip as many times as I can, where he said there was a time when President Frederick Chiluba came in, and he was Republican president, and he was now seeking to change the constitution to be able to bring in a third term for himself, right? And as presidents, I think in the southern region, a few Pan-African presidents came together and decided on who was the most loyal, who was the most credible, who was the most integral president amongst themselves to come and speak to the Republican president at the time of Zambia, just to be able to make sure that doesn't go ahead. And he said, can that happen now? I mean, the statement was left pending, but can that happen now? And for me, I'm always taken back to how Africa was always united, and it's very unfortunate that right now, the very South Africa that had a Republican president speak this way is the South Africa we're seeing today have xenophobia. Is the South Africa we see today where a lot of Africans are now saying we will not support South Africa in the World Cup because, you're attacking fellow Africans. There's a lot of chaos. I think just going back to the fact that at some point, we were just brothers and sisters, regardless of the boundaries that do exist. And it's exciting to just see that today's when he was elected president. And that one statement for me always stands out in that he just kept on echoing the fact that we are one people.
When you speak about South Africa and xenophobia and what is happening now,
right,
depending on the level of how this exercise is being done, I think that sometimes I feel that they are justified. You can't have an expatriate to come and do works like grading roads. I think these are things that Zambians can do. Why should you have an expatriate to come and do that? You don't need an expatriate to come and work in a shop as a cashier. These are jobs that local people can do. And I think that when you go to another country as an expatriate, I think that it means that you have the capacity to do what those people cannot do. I think that you can only start from constructing a road, for example. You won't come and do pavers and call yourself a contractor. I think that's a job that should belong to the local people. You won't come and begin to sell chickens at Soweto as an investor. I think that is a job that is supposed to belong to a local people. So at that level, I think that they are justified. But if you start kicking out everybody, just everybody, for the sake, because they don't have a work permit, because they are foreigners, I think that you have to look at it again.
But I think killing them is a little bit excessive, or killing us, because we've seen our own brothers and sisters be killed. Yes, and you know, Mr. Kozi, what's interesting is I got asked this question a lot when I was recently in South Africa. It's like, Manza, you've been here a few days. Are you seeing xenophobia anywhere around you? You know, I said, no, it is because I'm in select parts of South Africa. But what kept echoing in my mind is the people that I encountered and met kept on telling me, we do not stand by this thing as well. We don't agree that people should come in and do this, but also we are protecting ourselves, but there's better ways to do it. There's a select group of people that are doing it. So it's not all South Africans, but it's so unfortunate that that is something that we've experienced, especially when we do have the second Republican president who has come forward and just, you know, we've seen in statements talked about the fact that he was there at a time where African presidents came together to just keep encouraging people to, you know, to work together to achieve the Africa that we hope to see. But away from that, I think that is very exciting and interesting that today, on the 16th of June, is when South Africa had their second Republican president elected. I know we will be looking at the front page headlines a little later on in the show, but for now, let us touch on a very interesting topic, which is one of the things that I think, let me start by asking you, what is on your mind with what we will touch a little bit later today?
On my mind this morning is the mega rally in Kabwe.
That's right.
When the Tonse Pamozi Alliance was in Kitwe, there were arguments that what we saw, the pictures we saw were AI generated. We saw another huge crowd in Kabwe. So that is what I think is on my mind this morning.
I think it's very interesting, and let's just explore that, because as you said, we are in an era of AI. And this was a heavy statement. I did tune into the show even yesterday. I was here listening to how, you know, certain viewers were justifying the fact that AI, they AI, right? This is not what is actually happening. And we saw the numbers yesterday of the people that did turn out to just go and experience what was actually happening, and to hear what Honorable Brian Mundubile and Honorable Makebi Zulu have had to say in regards to what they are planning to do for the Zambian people, and just the expectations that people should have from the NRPOP, you know. And I think there's been allegations of stakeholders come forward and just state the fact that maybe there's been some form of shock to the ruling party. Was there an expectation to have those numbers? I don't know what your thoughts are regarding this, Mr. Kozi.
Well, for now, what I will say is that I think that everybody who is in the this space, the political space in the country, should be wary of what is happening, where the NRPUP is going, because it is now becoming evident that they are pulling crowds, and a lot of people are trekking to go and listen to what they have to say. I was speaking to another friend of mine yesterday who was telling me to say, look, it could be people are going there to watch the musicians. It could be people are going there to listen to what the PNRUP has to say, and what they promise to give the people when they are voted into power. And this is where I think is the most critical part. When you have such crowds coming to listen to you, what are you giving them? Look, when you go on a podium of so many people who you hope should vote for you, I think there is need that the people are given exactly what you are going to do for them, and as opposed to beginning to speak about other political parties, what they have done, what they have not done. I think that the most important thing is to tell the people of Zambia what you want to do for them, and how you are going to do what you are promising them that you are going to do for them. Yesterday, when Honorable Mundubile, I know that we're going to play the clip a little later on, was given an opportunity to stand, he said something very interesting, which he said, I know that we have a manifesto. My Bemba is not very good. Nalishwa tuwalikwata manifesto, but lelo, lekeni tubike manifesto pambali, palifintu fimbe ofo kulanda. And that's how he started speaking. I want to speak to ndefo kulanda kuli ba msepera, mariketi who and lined up the people that he wanted to speak to. But we are going to continue, and we are going to get to discuss this story in detail a little later on. But for now, let's take a short break.
Ili asili ya pa ya kuingisha bantu nchito through industrialization. Manifesto yetu lelanga pali job creation through industrialization. Kuli wafana kuna nsanga na tusimako. Tushepa Mungusi Textile. Bantu wa Mungusi Textile tongotu wa nisula. Lelo ndefo kubona wakoto nifama watu walu koto nifani banga pali. Imene ama loko. Mwema shabo koto nikumu Mungusi. Imene ama loko. Kanstati ineba la bantu. Wale leta kestenge waita print waleta ipieni devyo. Ela wale leta kwa tusa Mungusi Textile. Wamaina wakatamisa kamana. Kusherekeni shibiri. Ifo tukabomkia Mulungusi Textile. Mulungusi Textile ikawa aggregator. Aggregator ni market. Ikawa market ya cotton. Eno ifo nga government. Kwa pela maka kuli wa cotton farmer. Abo bakala ngabani ma cotton. Wale ita supply kumulungusi. Kwa dai ya machine hili. Tapale for next time yo. Ilifo nga printer ya kuti ngabale for picture wa president wa printer po. Kaisi mkwai, musango umo, otuka wento chamo, Mulungusi Textile, pamunga aggregator. Chimbi wane. Zambia, wamaina watata, wamaketiana wasiku benda. Musemu alisheke makobo ya wela pansi. Awa womkyo kumaye womba. Number 1, wale womba kuzambia correction service. Wabwela watenda head office watu wala kumusaka. Awa womki wachepa. Efu ya wanamariketi. Mule muna kuteko mao dea tomato. Ya tukaja zani ya wona patapaya la busta. Number 2, ngoma alolesha Zambian. Zambian zele kusunga prodefine. Na Zambian kuwa ya wabe. Ba maketia na basitu bende chumule churi la. Mula nduwa kuti aba bomfi dawa chepa. Number 3 wasibo 7. Aba bomfi wabu cheko wale chula. Baba munko mgole chakapela matusi. Government yali bakwatira olupia nabo bakongola kuti bengekala. Lero government yali ile okubalipira na wale tiro kuipira ko bakongola. nomba nakulumutinta ukashashani tomato undala mazika kumakwe so nomba mfwe ichakubalirapo ilya Zambia Correction Service wa prisons tuleiwesha kuno kukabwe kuno kukabwe wale kufumbia Zambia Correction Service kuno kukabwe awa jama minister na ama employers wa walungu wa president kulya takuwa wa maindustry ama mainyali sala abantu balachula wa Zambia Correction Service ewa twakofye nga bakola ababonti na economy yababwino ifyepo alimisakama na isonga batonse iya Zambia Correction Service tulebwesha head office kuna kukabwe. Number 2, to a large revamp ama operations ya Zambia Revenue. Ichalo kia sungu batila developing nations ama developed countries yonse wale bonke ma railway system. Ichalo tichukule iyo ukuwa wala proper railway system. So tuwesa mta revamp Zambia Railways. Pakuti kuzambia Railways nako abantu wengine kwesha nchito. Nga baingia abantu isha nchito banyine fwe. Amakwe bote agalaikala iyo. Wasima shopu amakwe bote agalaikala iyo. Pantu nombanis number 1, mulungusi textile toa ilungi sabwino wino. Kwa edika mplan. Number 2, Zambia Correction Service toa iweke japo. Number 3, toa wika po nawa wofi wanchito. Hawa wofi wabuteko. Tulea samungu sta implement debt swap. Shidenko ngole government ya mikwatila na kuyamwa kongola tulechita debt swap pakutila ati mwingekala bwino. Mwewa bonti wancho tule ufoluse no bulanda. Basibo sebe tule ufoluse. Dignity panchito yali ya. Ifwe ngatonse. We will ensure that we motivate the civil servants. The civil servants, including men and women in uniform, we will make sure that we motivate you. We give dignity to your work environment and dignity at household level. Aba nensu, aba mubuteko wa civil servants, ama soldier wa gapogola. Tule milayo kuti, ilia stagnation, ama salaries were stagnant for a number of years. Mweba jawa chindama. Mwesa ngoma basi, panta mkote miotoka. Make sure we motivate you, we give you all the equipment and materials that you need. Ama uniform ayasuma, na maya ndayasuma pati tuambile. Habe ingewa nensu wane ikala, muchinda mikuno. Kuna kurusa kawaya, katusuna kovekala, pato maya nda, ya lichala. Yadi maya nda kutoa ya pangile, ya kupelo uchindami, kuwa wonzura uteko. Men and women in uniform. So, my government will ensure that you are motivated. My government will ensure that you have proper uniforms. My government will ensure that you've got vehicles to use. We cannot see or continue to see men and women in uniform on public transport day in, day out. We will also improve the social amenities. Balaba nensu awa tusungile chalo. Ewa tusungile chalo. Kanchi ni mo balafo ekola okota ma club yabo oko balesa ngwa bene nombedi ngirine wesa mkwasa ngwa fe na watowekana. So we want to promise that we will ensure they are given proper support and motivation. Wasibo servant India NAFTA reform, pension reform, mwebe ngima isa kwato kudila kama pension reform. We will reform the pension scheme, we will reform the pension fund to provide for lump sum payments among other amendments that we make. So can you be assured, one teacher, there is a total number of 50,000 teachers waiting for upgrades. Mwaingilenga wa certificate holder, mwaingilenga wa diploma holder, mwawembesha, mwawelenga, mwakwata ma degree, na ma master, arama position mfuyo kuwako. So be assured that we'll make sure that you upgraded geographic position. One Zambia! One Zambia! Chindi wane, aba bonti abe ngimon Central Province. Bwadi luchile nchito. bala bale bomba kuma mai kulya bale bomba kuma mai yansire sangwa kuti umulandu wabuka itemwe bantungu sikwete amalaiti bambiro kwashisha amalaiti kunse kwa chalo wachini amafactory mwewe ngi mwadi usenchito muna mu Central Province we lost almost 6,000 jobs umulandu wakuti ntungushi shatema wana mpalamano shasha wane bushitianile to promote mining in the private sector. We will guarantee power supply to all the mines that are working in Central Province. We will guarantee a guaranteed power supply to ensure that they continue employing our youth.
That was Honorable Munduvile, Brian Munduvile, at the rally that was held in Kawe, in Makururu, yesterday. As you can see, we did touch on this earlier on with Mr. Makoga Kozi. You can see the numbers of people that were there. One of the things he did highlight, which has just led to people, saying something about it, is the fact that he did mention to say when he is president, he will still give President Hakainde Hichilema good treatment when he is the new president.
Yes, that shows you the confidence that they have as an alliance, that they are forming government after the 13th of August. And looking at the numbers that are attending these rallies, I think that, as I was saying, it is an opportunity really to speak to these people and get to hear take your message to them. And he spoke about ensuring that President Hichilema is treated as a former president with all the due respect, and ensuring that young people are given back what has been gotten to them from them, and ensuring that civil servants are given the dignity they deserve, and ensuring that there is a rule of law. He was actually saying that the law has no eyes. He being a lawyer and his running mate being a lawyer, they do understand that the law has no eyes, and it does not look at what color you are wearing. That's right. Whether red, green, or any other color, it doesn't mind. For me, I think that the messaging, especially when it comes to do with issues to do in the mining sector. Firstly, we must understand that the mining sector was at what the UPND would like to refer to as on its knees under the Patriotic Front government. And the UPND government, I think, that has boosted the mining sector. We have seen the reopening of mines that were closed for over 40 years. We have seen the dewatering of Shaft 28. We have seen that the operation of mines on the copper belt that had stopped functioning. And we have seen that they have even projected 3 million tons of copper per annum. Those are the projections that the UPND has. And I think that it is from the mining sector that we were just saying in the morning that the Kwacha has begun to gain a lot of strength because of the one of the factors is the mining sector and the sale of copper and copper production and the price of copper on the international market. And one of the things that the UPND has done is to try and legalize or formalize artisanal mining. And they have started that by ensuring that they give licenses to people that are doing illegal mining.
That's right.
They have stopped that illegal mining, and they have taken in some areas soldiers to ensure that this mining is stopped, so that whoever is engaging in mining now is doing it legally. There are a lot of lives that have been lost.
That's right.
As regards illegal mining. And the Tonse Pamoja Alliance says, look, those mines that have been grabbed from you, we are going to ensure that we give them back to you as young people, so that you as young people can even employ your colleagues and continue with the way you were mining, continue with your mining activities, which is what we are saying that could have led to a number of deaths and is illegal and needs to be legalized for all of us to benefit from this resource, because it is not only those that are digging that should benefit from the mining sector. Even those of us that are not in these areas, we are in Zambia and these are our minerals. So it means that the only way some of us can benefit those that are not in the sector, that are not working in the sector, is through taxes. And you can only begin to tax people if they're doing, you can't tax an illegality. So it has to be legal for it to be taxed. So I think that he speaks of revamping the Zambia railways.
That's right.
I remember that under the PF there was a huge chunk of money from the Euro bond that went to revamping the railway systems. I remember even bringing back Professor Clive Chirwa from the UK to come and manage Zambia railways to ensure that it is put back on track. I remember the Michael Chirifasata trains that came and stuff like that. He speaks about ensuring that marketeers are empowered and stuff like that. So is this what the people of Makululu want to hear about? He speaks about taking back the headquarters of the prison service, correctional, what do they call it?
Facility.
Correctional service back to Kabwe.
Right.
And also he speaks about farmers have suffered a lot, and there's need for farmers to be empowered. He says this at a time when Zambia has produced one of the biggest bumper harvests in the history of the country. And he says, and I think that it's Honorable Makebi Zulu that said, you were promised 10 bags of fertilizer. Is it 10 packs or something like that? But you are sharing fertilizer in medals. So we are going to make sure that all those things change. So that's the message that the Pamozi Tonse Alliance is taking to the people, and that's what they spoke to the people of Kabwe. Of course, Kabwe came in huge numbers to listen to that particular message.
I think also something that does stand out, and I know we can see a lot of our viewers are trying to get a hold of us this morning, is the real question is, you know, the people of Makululu did show up in large numbers, or the people of Kabwe in its entirety did show up in large numbers just to be able to listen to this message. But also is we see a situation here, Mr. Kozi, where there's a conversation of just being able to repeal cyber laws is something that was communicated. And we also see here on the other side that the UPND are also spreading the word on the story of bringing inflation to a single digit, right? What message will stand out with the Zambians? And there's so many other things that the UPND are saying, so many other things that the Tonse Pamozi Alliance are also communicating to the Zambian people, but we do want to hear what the viewers have to say, and also just to understand that people did show up in numbers, people want to hear, and maybe the expectation wasn't that people would turn out in numbers the way they did. I think it's a very interesting perspective, but also just the fact that and I like the aspect that you brought in of the miners, talking about providing equipment for the scavengers so that everybody also does benefit from mining, because for the last year we have seen so many lives being lost, as you have mentioned. So all of these things, is it just our typical political campaign jargon and conversations to tell people what they want to hear, and also are there actionable plans on what will take place post these campaigns? If you agree that the UPND Alliance and the Pamozi and Tonse Alliance are the front runners in this particular election, it's fair, because they both have a track record, I think. Most of the members of the Pamozi Tonse Alliance were in the Patriotic Front, which was in government. That's right. And so you can look at what they did, because
The UPND on the other side, when they speak about the Tonse Pamozi Alliance, they say that these are the people that were there in office. What did they not do at that particular time that they want to come back and do? So they also have the Pamozi Tonse Alliance an opportunity to tell the people of Zambia what they did for this country because they were there, and how they hope to improve on what they did and how they don't agree with what is happening now. The UPND Alliance also, on the other hand, is in power and have been in power for the past 4 years. So they also have an opportunity to tell the people of Zambia to say, look, this is what we have done, this is what we have improved. The mining sector is back on its feet, CDF has been increased, we have free education, we have all those things that they have delivered to the people of Zambia. And also the Pamozi Tonse Alliance have always peddled the narrative of lies by the UPND government. So they also have an opportunity to tell the people of Zambia to say, look, as Honorable Zulu was saying, you were promised this number of bags. We have not seen them. We have promised the price of minimum to be at this much. We have not seen that. So I think fair enough, they've both been there and they both can share what they have done to the people of Zambia. And the people of Zambia were there, at least those that are voting now were there during the other regime's reign and this government's reign. So they can compare and see who has delivered in their time in office. So it's up to them. It's really up to the people of Zambia now to decide who they want to be in office.
Well, before we do allow you, our viewers, to come in and just tell us what your thoughts are in regards to some of the stories we're looking at, let us have a look at the front pages and just see what the front pages look like this morning. Remember, this show is very interactive and we want you to be a part of the conversation by sending us a text message on 0979-958392. That's 0979-958392. We get started with the Mass newspaper this morning. The leading headline in the Mass newspaper reads, Sonte Fiowa Bomba. Show us your work before begging for our vote. Hichilema urged. Moving on, still in the Mass newspaper, Treasury bills government bonds attract more interest. 8.5% GBV drop too little, says Nyapachuma. And that does go on to read that the Nyapachuma Memorial Foundation has warned that gender-based violence cases remain high despite an 8.5% reduction in the first quarter of 2026 compared to the same period in 2025. All right, I will not criticize, victimize you, Mundubile assures HH. Engage DRC over continued attacks on drivers. Leadership Movement LM presidential candidate Dr. Richard Sikumbe, and that is the picture story. Climate justice, skills for youth vital, and that is from the RCJ. Those are the headlines that are making the front page of the Mass newspaper this morning.
Yes, indeed. We continue with the stories, with the newspapers rather, stories that are making the headlines. That is the Daily Nation newspaper. Now, the Daily Nation leads with a story, Opposition Dead and Buried, HH. I beg your pardon, says there will be no political resurrection for the opposition in Zambia, accuses the opposition of regrouping so that they can return to power to continue violence and lawlessness. That's a lead story in the Daily Nation newspaper. Other stories, Mundubire Makebi resurrect Broken Hill, is another story that is making the headlines. A pledge that they will not victimize, persecute President Hichilema as they continue to promise to renew cyber laws, empower the youths, market lead traders and civil servants as supporters chanted, "We want change." There's another story there that is in the Daily Nation. The other story says, Hona FTJ, Chikamba prods government. Is another story. The other one says refused to be silenced, vote wisely, Deepak Patel. It's another story that is making the headlines in the Daily Nation newspaper. Remember that you can give us your thoughts on these stories by sending your text messages to 0979 958392. You can also go to our Facebook page, which is Crown TV Zambia. Go to the comment section and leave your contributions there.
0979 958392 is how you are getting a hold of us this morning. Moving on to the Daily Mail, I beg your pardon. This morning, the leading headline in the Zambia Daily Mail reads, "Win or lose gains, HH asks Zambians to vote UPND to sustain growth. Children should learn, not earn." And that is another headline in the Zambia Daily Mail this morning. State argues case on Article 256. ECZ online jobs ad fake. And Chief Kasempa leadership held. Still in the Daily Mail this morning, Tonse candidates fight at church. And lastly, NAPSA bags 5.9 million from Lusaka Ndola dual carriageway. And an inspirational note to get us started this Tuesday morning reads, "All our infirmities, whatever they are just opportunities for God to display His gracious work in us." 0979 958392 is the number that you are sending us your contribution this morning.
Yes, indeed. You can also go to our Facebook page, which is Crown TV Zambia. Go to the comment section and leave your contributions there. We want to hear what your thoughts are as regards what we're discussing this particular morning. That is the Times of Zambia newspaper. It leads with a story, vote for continuity. HH tells Northern Province residents to vote UPND for continued growth. That's a lead story in the Times of Zambia newspaper. Other stories, Africa must act early on climate-induced disasters is another story that is making the headlines. U.S. gifts Zambia $6 million United States dollars military facilities is another story that is making the headlines. U.S.-Iran pact signed is another story that is in the Times of Zambia this morning. Kalumbira Council acts to boost agro production. The other one says debt buyback deal progressive is another story. And on the sports page, a lot more needed is the lead story on the back page of the Times of Zambia newspaper.
Moving on to the News Diggers this morning. The leading headline in the News Diggers newspaper reads, UPND downplays Mundubile's mega rally. And also, crowds are not votes is the headline that we are seeing in the News Diggers. HH mocks demise of PF. Dead people can't wake up. 33 suspects escaped from Kapiri police. And we're continuously starting to export power. We're cautiously starting to export power. ZESCO board chairperson Vixon Nchobe says the utility company is cautiously starting to export power in a move to recover its net exporter status. Nchobe has also insisted that the nation will not go back to load shedding after the August pause due to the many projects ZESCO has invested in. And the last front page headline in the News Diggers reads, "We've provided a level playing field," and that is coming through from the Electoral Commission of Zambia. 0979958392 is the number that you are sending us your text messages. We are opening the phone lines very shortly, but we will be reading your text messages as well, just to have a look at what you are sending to us. That is 0979958392, 0979958392. Mr. Kozi, I'm not sure what headline has stood out the most for you, but I would like to go to the Mass newspaper this morning that reads, Sontefio Wabomba, show us your work before begging for our votes. And that is Hichilema has been urged, and that is a very popular statement that we hear all the time. It came through from the Patriotic Front, if I'm not mistaken, during their time in government, and as they were building up to the 2021 campaign, where they did talk about ifoto ala sonte foto abomba, sonte po abomba.
Firstly, when this came up, they were talking to President Hakainde Hichilema because he had never been councillor. They said he had never been MP, he had never been president. So what was he going to deliver? But now that he's in office and he worked 5 years, when they say Sontepo Wabamba, obviously the UPND or President Hakainde Hichilema must begin to point at the successes in the past 5 years. And some of the major successes that the UPND could have recorded will have to be the free education, will have to be CDF, will have to be employment of civil servants, health workers, teachers. Obviously, that is what the economy, the way the economy is performing, having being regarded as one of the best performing economies in the country, in the world, and also inflation being brought to single digits and stuff like that. I'm sure that is what the UPND has been proudly speaking of. They also, I remember some time back, the SG was saying they have ticked, they called Kwenyu, over 80% of what they had promised in 2021. Getting into 2026, they were confident that 80% of the promises had been delivered. And on this program, we did share the 10-point plan of the UPND going into 2021 and how it looks like now. And when we went through, I think that there are issues that you and me could agree that have been done by the UPND, but still there are some sectors that are not excited about what the UPND has done, that have not seen what the UPND had done. And this lead story there shows that there are people that have not seen anything that the UPND has done, and that is why they want the UPND to show them what they have done. The people of Zambia know what they want. The people of Zambia have been voting since 1991, even before then. So they know how I think politicians behave. They know I'm sure that this time they begin to understand now what kind of a politician can deliver and what kind of a politician cannot deliver. However, for me, the story that made the headline is one of the stories that we are looking at in the Diggers newspaper, where the UPND has downplayed the numbers that are attending the Tonse Pamozi Alliance rallies. Fact is that they are pulling crowds. And I think that now nobody is even talking about AI. Everybody has agreed that the Tonse Pamozi Pact is pulling crowds. A lot of people are flocking to see the Tonse Pamozi Alliance and listen to what they have to offer the people of Zambia. And I think that the Alliance as well should take this advantage, I keep on saying, to ensure that they utilize those numbers that they are having to ensure that they talk to them and make them decide to vote for them in the coming. This story says numbers are not votes, crowds are not votes. It means that then you have to turn these crowds into voters or into votes by way of telling them what you want to do for them, so that on that day, the 13th of August, when they go to the booth, the message that you are telling them is ringing in their minds, and they go and give you that very important vote. So it's downplaying these numbers at your own peril, I think. The UPND has to also begin to work at, because we've not yet seen big rallies by the UPND. We saw huge numbers at the nomination, especially in Kaputa, where former Honorable Minister of Sports, Honorable Nkandu, was filing in his nomination. We saw how many numbers of people attended that particular rally, but we've now seen that even the Pamoze Tonse Alliance is pulling huge crowds. So I think it is a matter of what you are telling these crowds that are coming to attend your meetings.
But you know, the fact that the statement of crowds are not votes comes from the UPND spokesperson, who is Cornelius Mwetwa, is interesting, because then does this mean that the UPND is not moved by the crowds or numbers that the Tonse Pamoze Alliance is pulling? And also, as you've mentioned, we are seeking to see a time when we're going to see more numbers necessarily at their rallies, or just to see the crowds that the UPND will pull. But at the same time, we want to hear from you, our viewers, especially the people in Kawe. Were you in attendance of the rally that did take place yesterday? And we just want to hear what our viewers have to say. 0979 958392. That's 0979 958392. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Morning. How are you doing?
I'm sleeping. Unalebo.
Abanda mwauka.
Oneka bwino unalebo wanga iwe. Nakuza tuzoneka sojati.
Ziko mwakwambi.
Nazana waona zola sakala magirasi ngama no shukuru. Amanje muwemba mteni pa udagai mkazi wanga wewe. Ile kuna namtia wanga.
Azabwera Mike.
Awe Mike sabwera na papa dankani ya powder isale off pa breakfast show.
Okay. Jamani kamba kona lebo wanga. Sidanda ulangani abantu masoja buzaire. Mena upandira abantu watu. Is it clear yogi? No. Yeti sebenzele pa bantu ma Zambian. Abantu ngati ntero tire kwa pesa chimanga. Tirekere tusapesa chimanga. Kwa vile ambo jida manje watu arudipandira abantu. Ama drivers wana mafamily. Maje masoja steady bateteze, masoja ndiye meneso hapa ndaso watu maningi. Mane ni shine cyane. Wabera mafoni bana. Ma drivers kusobonezeka. Iya, sitoleka bwino. Bome sebenzere po mjangu mjangu yati waje wandafu ko gwiriwa waje masoja. Aba gwira waje masoja kwa mangira. Batijana ngene zote mbaje yaje. Ngozi mtaone girati uyu muntu alufuro kupha muntu panda. Batulota tijana every day. No, waje kwa Afrika jeto gwira no mangira. Kudasenga po punziro to ivaso swa bifuna watu Zambia. Isa tribende, tipe violence. Watu wajiona na vena wajita waje banda. Alupandi waje bandu tunosowera iya. Chimanga futi tulwapa sasa waje banda. So pembo yatu nyakuti boma yatu ililipo chimanga stop osa wapasa wajanda fenayo njala because alukuta matipandira bantu watu ma drivers ana ma families wajala ayo so meaning nzufu niko kana so yani dikapewa kula amwetwa UPND pajezo kwera mu mpando ndiwo mene nalili na manamba zimonga agali na batonsa alliance wana PF yenzedo manamba zina kwera pasi maningi. So as a kid wanaleta mweta tanzika papoza zakapata yai manamba zalipeka manamba ndiye kuwina kwa bantu ona lebo wanga iwe boko manamba yapene yaje ndiye zo kuti boma ibwera inango wanali kuti kunaenda president bantu anaboki ma working suit iyai wewe pokwera pampando baja wenze na manamba za UPND zaso yanawina sai boma mele bwera ina manamba zimaningi. So niyo wina kale. Uko mokambile sana lugulona lebe.
Ziko mokambile. 0979958392. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Alved. How are you doing this morning?
You were quick to mention my name. I've got interest in these elections. Please, anyway, anonymous. Makoko, good morning.
Good morning, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm all right. There's a big issue which is going on, especially on social media. You know, in some of the provinces, Mundubila and Makebi, they are not known. Now, it is alleged that some of the UPND members, they are lining up the independent candidates to be with the Makebis. Please, let them stop it. I'm telling you, they are introducing Makebi Zulu and Mundubile to some of the provinces where they are not known. So they should stop that language. What they should simply do it is to campaign and leave the independent candidates to campaign. When immediately they start mentioning those names, I mentioned Makokwa, Mainza, which means I want those names to be known. That is what is happening now. In most of the places, I can tell you, the rural areas, those people, they are not known. There is no Facebook, but when they start mentioning them, printing t-shirts, alleged printing t-shirts, that is what we are told. It's not good. Let them campaign on the line of the promises which they promised. That's all. Because with me, I'm one of the candidates. So I have seen that. Let us just play our football within the rules. It's important. At the end of the day, the bigger party which people love so much, they introduce it to the others. Mr. Makokwa.
Yes, sir.
You know, when you're a candidate, you don't talk too much. I submit.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your contribution. Mr. Shabura, good morning.
Oh, Mr. Makokwa.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, very fantastic. How is Mainza there?
Mainza is doing very, very well. Good hearing from you, sir.
Thank you so much. Under a minute, quickly, let me get into my thoughts.
Carry on.
Yeah. Yes. I want to just comment on one of the headlines where it says the crowds are not votes. I think that is a very correct statement. If the crowds were votes, then PF would not have been out of power. They would still be around. They had good songs, danceable songs. Enjoy. Everyone enjoyed. Even from the opposition camp, they did enjoy. So us from the UPND, I don't think we are moved with that crowd, because that is the same crowd we are going to pull, even at the time we are going to be in the heat wave. So what is important now? We've been voting from 1964 to date. So what happens now is just the strategy and the message that you have for the voters. It's not about who goes there. It's just like in churches. There are so many people that we see going to churches on Sundays. Those people, please, they are not all saved. There are people that are satanists. There are people that are thieves. There are people that have got evil intentions or whatever. But they still go to church because they are off duty. They have nothing to do on that particular day. Though there will still be people that are upright, that know what they do and they are saved. So the numbers, they cannot move me. They cannot move anyone. What is important is the message that you carry. Because the same people that were drawn in Kabwe and Kitwe, they will still come back to UPND and also listen. So I think for me, crowds are not votes. What is important is what is it that that particular party has done? What is it? Do they have the passion for Zambians? Do they have that a passion to lead the country? So that is what is very important. It's the message that they are carrying. I think those guys, what they are particularly doing well, it is on the music part. I think you can enjoy their music and everything. That is all what they have, is just the music. But when it comes to the real message for an ordinary Zambian, they do not have. So wherever they will be going, will be following Chester, will be following all those the good musicians and songs. But I don't think the Zambians can be lured to voting to the opposition. And I don't think anyone else in a rightful mind can go back to Egypt. We are coming from a very difficult economy, very difficult governance system. I think this time around we are enjoying everything. So let the crowds be put, but please, what is important? I'm not campaigning, but all what I know is if votes were gotten from the crowds, PF would not have been out of power by now. Because in the last time of Edgar Lungu and the entire government, they were doing very well in terms of the crowds. Marco, are you with me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, they were doing very well. So that cannot move anybody. What is important? Actually, I heard so many people that were saying, we will go listen from the music and everything and whatever, but at the end of it, our vote is on Bali. Our votes are on Bali. And I urge all loving Zambians to say, please, let's go. Dance, do everything and whatever. Sometimes it's important to just open up and release yourself. Listen from the music. Even me, when they come to Chilang, I will still join them. But I can assure you that I can never vote for them because they do not have the message that really relates with what I want. So otherwise, thank you so very much. And I urge you, Manza, Makokwa, a lovely day.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hello, good morning.
Lamakokwa.
Balik Mauka.
Tauka, mauka.
Awe sitauka bwino.
Wamakokwa.
Yeah.
Patinaba nkudala ukamba kwa mji. Festival maiza.
Mwauka adi kumuni bwanji.
Ile kipino maiza. Mwiza wamakokwa. Oka kama oti Cloud si amenevota. Cloud ndi amenevota. Ruling party fani kuchita nayo manta. Ichi chipani mchamanje manje. Kuli hali kalaba. Kuli ndani. Koma wanani wantu mamene wao njikiwa mamene wao ndira kuti ichifugwa chani so as a ruling party fani kuchita manta why wantu wao njikana so loti zinamizana iyai UPND pamene zotenga goma kuno Christian province amakokwa ngati kuwa president wa church wabwera lodi yose imozonkhala bantu mulodi kabapita zapena njira mozonkhala bantu so ndiye mamene walili awa nyamata walili so tikakamba kuti mwakuti iyai musatenge paja na manje ka UPND is empower. Pamene empower watu waona UPND ilamulira bwanji, watu wasunga bwanji. Paja pezo mu opposition na wena uzoifuna uta atikaone matika lamulire. Ni same apa. Police wa ruling party. Osa chita toilet. Ile ni amakokwa ningala kuno Christian province. Ngati kuno Christian province kuli watu wamene amankalira na chipani. Wakuno Christian province. Koma light nao wamakokwa wanachinja. Nisakubisani boza wamakokwa wanachinja. Dei amene msabwera kuno Christian province. Muzaka mbote wali kakamba vintu vazoona. Chifukwa niwonera pali wazimayi. Wazimayi wambopanga magroups vamunduvire. Including immizi. Ava ma political party amene ava ma opposition vava independent ma MP mwizi kuti vaende vakhale comfortable vaenda na zina kuti ise tili muli munduvire not ruling party kwaiona so ifanika danger ku ruling party not zina mizana iyai please abale vanga ava vantu vabwera uipa vabwera kuipa zasana kaboti mose musanga valimo amakukwa musanga valimo ino Eastern Province chamene chavuta ona ni kuno Eastern Province makuzana makukwa Eastern Province mine ni farming onani mwamena aluvutikira na fwaka onani mwamena aluvutikira na masoya mitego
as you conclude
yes onani mwamena aluvutikira na masoya uchipa so that's why kuno Eastern Province kwa soko nezeka mradu wa vamene hivi so tsana mizane wantu opposition ili tough ziko mwambi
hello good morning
good morning. Is that Crown TV?
Yes, kindly reduce the volume on your TV set.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Mauka bwanji.
Bwino kama mauka bwanji.
Mauka bwino, kuli bwanji kulusaka huko.
Kuli bwino ndi mwandani alo mtumira kuti?
Ndine Petros ndantumira kumfuwe kumalambo kumunzi.
Atayamikira pitirizani.
Tufuna kuuza kwa amene akamba kuti yali ma clouds vantu opakawo yali si amene ovota umpanga tini vantu lino ovota opaka ataka vote ni wani ataka wine mavoti ni wani pasa titikona manaboza vintu vafika poipa awo vene blind mnduvile na makebi ndiye valiko kwa sila vantu taona mamene mankhalidwe mamene alili awo amene olavira kuti yali vantu vintu inkono awo ndio itangatoti kulumiza kuti nomba tikalipiretu economy siri bwino economy litake bwino kuli amene aweva kuli ali bwino but tulangala tuvutika kuti economy ili bwino kama mapani mwene kwaso tieni tukongwera na chifundo ama ngatolavira chilavira vile teti otangatise tulala njala mbase tuvutika otichita pavironda mwakambira kuti faka soti otika soti pachironda kuti chilaviretu tikalipiretu kuti nomba tukonya mlana wana kumuna aliyese na ali mmizi wonse kuti tukawavotera so aike konzeru apa pantu vyafika tonse tukuya kuli tonse tuvotera aminawo nyo tutuvotera aminawo kaiwe votipangira malamulo aipa otipangira vindu vipa oti vindu vadula
zikomo kwambiri
chingatambe ngati ni chinji dere basi.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
Mr. Kunda, calling you from Lusaka.
Mr. Kunda, good hearing from you. Please carry on with your contribution this morning.
Vamakokwa mwashibukeni.
Mkwai mwashibukeni bakunda.
Bwino vamainza mwashibukeni.
Twashibuka mkwai mulifia bwino.
Aba mutendeka ili abakosa.
Au twatotera mkwai kuti mwapitirisha.
Awe ndefo kulanda ko palubalirwa waba BM8 yali amanamba tulemona kulya ala yachine my sister my brother ero chishinka bali abantu barabene mulemona bale ufa ebo chile kalipa. You know, cost of living ingana inina nangupenda wilo twakupenda wila ngataule lyafye bwino umuntu tabale chengomfwa bamakokwa ngamarolesha mukabwe mule mwali talala mwali wazi mwali batondoro mulandu wa buchushi abantu bali sala mashopu cyane bashana. So ifefu barera ndati yo crowd table takurufyanya. In fact, even making it more worse ku bantu. Abantu they should be remorseful. Bafide bamona twalala ndeshina abantu. Not mulanda ati yo nangu abantu bale muleka fidya teba kavota kurufyanya balabene abantu bakavota nangu balabene bakainde ekiri mapakati bawine ama elections pa first ba PF bale kwata abantu bale kwale ya UPND nabo bale abalefula bale abalechinja fe gradually paka ba UPND bali ambokula kwata abantu mulando akana umfa ba PF echalengera ati baleya but uno mukuba makokwa ndeni ebe chinka awe bakose kwa mano otherwise kuya bena bale then chimbi urole shefyo bachitire mi street ulya driver ku Congo sure ushe government yesu ina ba president bale mona teko iminika first ya matrack kweba tiyo ikatubire fumana nguni ku South Africa makula cha transship pa border chabe tani abantu betsu kuya mkulu are subjected to that beating like that. In conclusion, Mama Inza, the government babike kwa mano because if ya chitika kachinga ni 4 or 5 times nobody in Congo, we just have to put an end to that.
Thank you so much.
And now to conclude, Makokwa, I want you to keep on polishing your shoes and invite your brother in Botswana because you are going to attend the inauguration. Okay.
Thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
Thank you, my sister, for your grace.
Mr. Munoge, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Please go on with your contribution this morning.
Equally, I followed the Munduvilesi rally yesterday. Unfortunately, he kept on contradicting himself. This was people of wisdom cannot be lowered by such. Because on one hand he was saying the law has no eyes. On the other hand he says no, we want to come and liberate our colleagues who are imprisoned. And he alleges that no, because of speaking their mind. That's the contradiction. On the one hand he says no, we want to liberate you. On the other hand he says the law has no hand, has no eyes. What is that? Can a normal person follow such a person? People talking about the crowd. I called someone in the Kabwe just this morning, my in-law who is there, to find out whether she went there. I said, no, I didn't go there. And he said the majority of the people, especially in Kamuchanga, didn't go there. Because he was asking to hear what, as though they have something. He said, no, they didn't go there. So these people mobilized from Serenge, from what, to come and convert them on one place to show that they have crowds. If it means the crowds are votes, yes, we believe the crowds are votes, but did the President to campaign on the Copper Belt 2021? He was not allowed to campaign on the Copper Belt. But who won the consensus of Copper Belt? All of them, it was President Hakainde Hichilema, not President Lungu. That's why I say, if President HH is to lose, it's not him to lose, it's Zambians who are going to lose. Look, Munduvile says he wants to come and use the President HH for what? Because they know they don't have a good reputation, they don't have a good name. The way they abused the Bakaunda to send them to China, the same they want to use President Hakainde Hichilema. If it were me, if I were President Hakainde Hichilema, I would refuse. Because these people have no good name. Prior to 2021 election, you saw, even the Chinese who are so friendly, they started folding their arms towards Zambia. International community had started refusing to support Zambia. So if they came back, those in the same community that lost confidence in them, can you support them now? So it will be Zambians to lose. Look at the Copper Belt, mines were closed. They were turned into just the cows where they were getting money to support their illegality. Yet the suppliers and were suffering there. So can the people of Copper Belt be such, I don't know the best word I can use, to allow the same people who destroyed their livelihood to come back? Zambians, let us protect this country. It's in our hands. But Chiluba did whatever they did. Wanawasa came, corrected the mess. And then Barupia left it to UPF, who destroyed within 3 years. And the President Church has come to correct the situation. Again, should those people who destroyed come back? What are we? What are we going to be? Did the UPF promise 10 bags of fertilizer?
In conclusion?
No. As I conclude, what was happening, some people were given 6 bags, other people were given 9 bags. And now everyone is getting 8 bags now, as on FISIPU. Now, why should they deny that the UPN promised 10 bags of fertilizer? Farmers now we have 5 million tons of maize, which has never been there. Can we fail to feed ourselves with UPN in power? Let us protect these gains by not allowing destroyers who are just good at spending to come back to power. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning, madam.
Morning. Please reduce the volume on your TV set.
Okay, I'm Mr. Banda.
All right, Mr. Banda, please continue.
Yes, my contribution. People, they don't just gather if they haven't seen problem. I say people, they don't just gather if they haven't seen a problem. Where there is a problem to our party, UPND, they don't want to understand the problem of the people. That's the only problem. Our president doesn't want to forgive people. That's the next problem. The third problem is about us ourselves. Cities chepesa. Every time pamene tifuna okamba na bantu, we are too harsh. Every time tifuna okamba na bantu, we are too harsh. So that's the very big problem that we have. If we can forgive and starting tayamba putabwerera pansi bwino taona kuti ni pati pamene tipanga ma problems. Then my problems we can sort them out. But the problem sitifuna chita forgive, problem sitifuna mvera kulira kwa bantu, problem sitifuna.
All right, looks like that call has dropped. 0979-958392. That's 0979-958392. Mr. Kozi, really interesting conversations coming through from, and different opinions coming through from our viewers this morning. And we will continue picking up phone calls before. Actually, I think I just want to explore this for now, because these are interesting opinions that are coming through from our different viewers. What are your thoughts on it?
Yes, it really clearly shows that everybody has agreed now. Nobody is thinking AI now. Right. Everybody has agreed that these people that we are seeing are really attending these rallies. So the Pamozi Tonse Alliance is pulling huge crowds. And the argument now has gone to whether these people will translate into votes or not. Argument is they may not vote. These are not really votes. They're just people that have gone there. Mr. Shabula was saying, look, anybody who feels like going there can go there, even if they don't believe in the in that particular political party. He even says that if they went to Chiranga, he would go there as well to go and see what is happening there. But I think that downplaying the numbers that are attending these rallies could be at your own peril. I think that for me, what other political parties should do, including the ruling UPND, is to up their game as well as regards campaigns and talking to the people. Because sometimes it's difficult. You see that the Tonse Alliance has passed through Kitwe and they've passed through Kawe yesterday. It is difficult to go and overturn or to go and tell the people there a new message from what they have heard. So I think that everybody else, all the political parties must up their games. I think that what the Tonse Alliance has done is an eye-opener for everybody to get down to the ground and start working. We have less than 2 months before the 13th of August. So I think that all the political parties should hit the ground running.
That's right. All right, we will continue with your phone calls and messages a little later on in the show. But for now, we will take a very short break. When we get back right into the Royal Breakfast Show.
Ulefwaya usende akia munani pati iyi ishirapusha no kutunga shuwa
Alala kentrande na imwe mana nwamingisha nomba mnganda mana nwamingisha mnganda
tabaina pakulala ero fifulu tabaina kulingalala mwanzini nalaisa vemunza kamana
vibufili chalo kense kukosa vendasa kama na fyomwe obe
abantu abalefu efyupo muno mu kyalo bengi sana
nomba ina wamwisa nali upo hapo
ine ne alikulonga ine pano wafe olwo abantu abaleta mboti bakweva ati kweva ati ine nshau papo nshakwatapo mwana
ine ninjipelesha kulima nga muli serious munjo ati ndi serious kozi ine chilefu okusebana ku kyalo
kuti wana pabeneka
ibo mwefa kupa ine ngakwali omwana kashuwa isunga pano pa kyalo ipo naba Kira de vingani.
Landeni tuminene hamuleke lumitiseze
shiteni tumiretere abuna tu afyanta manga fulani kimwai kibati wanu na fyasa sinzo in the mix abalala pandalama bafyantama mwakokola sana okwebati mushabayi nchipekita mwesabene bamakoeni mu Zambia namba 3 wani chimpundula asho aba umwe abakosereko kuwina kumobo city ukutamba no kuwina kila mulungu nasondo ku Crown TV ne nshita ya 19 sate ifya kuwina
Mobile City, the phone's paradise.
The ultimate business stage is back. From the 1st to the 7th of July, the Trade Fairgrounds in Ndola will be buzzing with endless opportunities. But how does your business stand out in the crowd? You get on the big screen with Crown TV. We will be live in Ndola, ready to take your brand straight into the homes of millions. From primetime commercials to exclusive event coverage, we create advertising that drives real results. Don't miss out. Visit the Crown TV stand in Ndola between July 1st and July 7th or contact our sales team today to secure your special trade fair advertising package. Crown TV. Feel the honor.
Numerous cases of people falling asleep have been reported across the African continent. No one can explain this phenomenon.
With 24/7 FIFA World Cup coverage, sleep can wait. Everything can wait.
Catch all 104 matches from as little as 255 kwacha, only on DSTV.
Welcome back to the Royal Breakfast Show on Crown TV. Now, we have been talking about what the campaign period looks like, as we saw with the rally that did take place yesterday in Kabwe. And this is in alignment with the Tonse Pamosi Alliance and how they're pulling numbers and just what you, our viewers, have to say. And away from that, we will touch a little bit later on the impact of betting and gambling in our Zambian homes. But for now, we want to have a look at the messages that you, our viewers, have sent us on 0979-958392. That's 0979-958392. Let's get started with our very first text message just to see what your thoughts are this very morning. This one reads, Idi Amin Dada was democratically elected. Let us Zambians be careful. Munduile is not fit. That is a message coming through from an anonymous writer this morning.
Morning panel, that is AI. Mundubile can't beat HH, tramming people from other towns. Achepa, FC Kitwe. Thank you very much, FC. We appreciate your text message, appreciate your contribution.
This one, 0979958392. This one reads, Munenguka, aka Crown TV. The behavior of Coach Nora is top-class betrayal. Let us put an end to dependence on foreign coaches. Recall Bruce. Wona lishua kwa mkushi. Mwabuka buti abamainza abakozi. Thank you. Twabuga. The crowds have gathered. The crowds being gathered by Mundubile cannot be said to be a sign of wind of change. People may turn up to hear anything good or better, but alas, no hope-giving manifesto. Zambians, don't forget quickly, less than 5 years, this country was doomed and lost. A pig will always be a pig, no matter how you wash it. 13th August, vote HH and UPND for peace and development. Thank you so much for writing to us.
This one says, try to give us some updates, World Cup, just a request. If at all you are in a position to do so, matches are played at awkward hours when most people are sleeping and timetable unavailable. Thank you. Thank you very much for that text message. There's no name to it, but we appreciate it. We will continue with your text messages. Remember, the number is 0979-958392. You can also go to our Facebook page, which is Crown TV Zambia. Go to the comment section and let us know what your thoughts are as regards what we are discussing this particular morning. And also remember that on this particular program, we are looking at the mega rally that was held in Kabwe yesterday by the Tonse Pamosi Alliance, and the number of people that attended that particular rally. Is it AI or are these people that attended this rally? Also, the other question that is coming in is, are these people, do they translate into votes? As we saw the lead story that was in the Diggers newspaper this morning. So the numbers that we are seeing at these rallies are translating into votes. 0979-958392.
This one reads, good morning, Crown TV. These crowds at rallies are normal. Even ACL put such crowds but lost. And it doesn't mean that when people go there, they are supporters or are going to vote. People go to make judgment. HH was not allowed to fly around the country to campaign, but he won, so crowds are not votes. Some of them didn't even have voters' cards. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning from this anonymous writer, 0979-958392.
This one says, good morning, the royal family. You are doing a great job. Guys, to update us what is going on, keep it up. Bravo. Watching from Senanga. There's no name to it, but we appreciate. Thank you very much for coming through.
0979-958392. Good morning, Prince Cozy and Lady Mainza. People following rallies of the opposition amaze me. They're proud of the mega rallies, forgetting that these are the same people and children who go around attending rallies. Let HH Let HH go to the same ground. There will be the same attendance from the opposition. People are chasing money from these rallies, forgetting this same money is already gone on social cash, transfer, CDF, free education, etc. There's no money as before in circulation as before, and very soon they'll be fed up. Samuel in Lusaka. Thank you so much, Samuel, for writing to us.
This one says, sports is the answer to the drug problems. Our vulnerable youths are currently engulfed in the government in it, I think. The government should roll out sports kit for different sports disciplines. Victor Chisela in Luansha. Thank you very much, Mr. Chisela. We appreciate your text message.
All right. The rally for Mundubile was not Kitwe rally, was the entire Copper Belt. They ferry people all over minibuses and promise them something afterwards. Let us wait and see. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning.
This is a long one. It says, good morning, RBS. The wind of change is showing from the two rallies in Kitwe and in Kawe. Tell a lot of people these people saying it's AI are just covering up and not telling their members the truth that is on the ground. The ruling party has only three things they are talking about. One, CDF, which in many parts of Zambia has never been reached. Two, free education, which is good. Three, Bill 7, which has only worked in a delimitation. They are forgetting that they promised the farmers 10 bags of fertilizer, which has never happened, I think, and a lot more promises. They should tell these farmers why they did not fulfill promises and how they will correct the issue so that farmers get 10 bags and on time. I felt bad when I saw farmers on the line at a bank waiting for payment. Mumfula, it was bad. Work well, Mr. Makokwa and the lady, RBM Matero North Lusaka. Thank you very much, RBM. I appreciate your text message.
0979-953892. That Mundubile is a total failure. He has nothing to offer. His speech is hollow, and leaders, when they speak, should be honest. Mundubile had issues with the road contracts, not delivered but not paid for. He was in power for 20 years. Zambia Railways Eurobond loan was shared among themselves. Today, Zambia Railways is under rehab. The European Union is giving the loan to Zambia. As we speak, local engines are being rehabilitated. What message is he giving the people of Kawe? Correctional headquarters is not a real issue. The only loss in income is pay as you earn, which should go to the council. This is rhetoric. He has nothing to offer. RK is coming through with that message. Thank you so much, RK, for writing to us consistently on the Royal Breakfast Show. 0979-958392.
Mundubile has never been Republican president of Zambia, so he can't be blamed for all the shortfalls of the PF. Anyone who qualifies can be president of Zambia. One Zambia, one nation. Victor Chisela Luansha.
Thank you so much for writing to us this morning. Morning RBS, Mr. Mundubile spoke about revamping Zambia Railways. Can he tell us where the Eurobond money was spent on? How many times did his PF lie to the Zambian people over reopening of Mulungushi textiles? During campaigns, the large crowds will always give you a wrong impression that you will win. Look back, the people that lost elections, they pulled large crowds but lost. I rest my case. PMB in Lusaka.
Thank you very much, PMB. 0979-958-392. Where was this man called Mundubile in the past government? Because I'm told and he knew this man, he was the MP Ron. What he do? I think he was a member of parliament for Mporokoso Noturon. What did he do there? Nothing. What about Zambia? Because Zambia is large. Don't lie, sir. With that man called Makebi PF, guys, respect the head of state. Yours, Robert Longwe, Musmuko, Lusaka West. Thank you very much, Mr. Musmuko. We appreciate your text message.
Good day, Crown TV. Looking good. To start with, the people knows who to vote for. Those who have delivered will be voted back. People cannot eat promises. We need people who can deliver and develop our country. 13th August is coming. The crowd in Kawe can tell. MC from Kalumbila. Thank you so much, MC, for writing to us on 0979-958392. That's 0979-958392.
Chilea Lowafye, BM8 incoming president of Zambia, Uafitala Akaimwena Lila Mpifye. Thank you very much for that text. No name to it, but we appreciate it. We appreciate your contribution.
Mr. Makoko and Mainza, the people know what they want, and even there in the rural areas, the people are well informed and able to contrast between the incubate regime and the Mundubile Makebi alliance. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting indeed. Bigton in Lundazi. Bigton, how is Lundazi? Lovely hearing from you this morning. Continue sending us your text messages on 0979-958392. That's 0979-958392. We are listening to what you, our viewers, have to say regarding what we are discussing this morning.
Mundubile has no proper message to confuse voters. Joseph Nkausu, watching from Zimba Town. Thank you very much, Joseph. We appreciate your text message.
It's the first time I'm seeing a message from Zimba.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we are glad to know that somebody from Zimba is watching. Good morning, Crown TV. Please, lekeni Mundubile abombeko twachula sana nefilayo fyabufi. Free education abana 200 in class. Eschola, Lusaka, Midway. Thank you so much for writing to us, Eschola.
Yes, indeed. Morning, Ndash and Honorable Makokwa. Such crowds remind me in 1991 when there was a change of I think, wind. Were people working yesterday, or it's true there was no employment in that place being a Monday yesterday? Chris in Livingston. Thank you very much, Chris. We appreciate your text message, and we appreciate that Livingston is watching.
Chris, I'm not Ndashi. I'm Mainza. Idi Amin Dada was, this one we already looked at earlier on, but it just says Idi Amin Dada was elected. We are receiving a lot of phone calls from you, our viewers, this morning, and we will hear from you on 0979-958392. Before we do allow you to come in, we just want to touch a bit on one of the topics that we saw earlier on in our news stories, which was just betting, and we just touched on this a little lightly, Mr. Kozi. Just the impact of betting. We did see from the news clip of a man that, was about to lose his family as a result of betting. And betting has become a rising issue in the country or just in the world. And people are continuously talking about how gambling and betting is seemingly an issue. But before we unpack this, let us have a look at the clip that just tells us this story in regards to some of the impacts that betting has on Zambian homes.
Football betting has become one of the many hobbies enjoyed by most men. However, what many fail to realize is that what begins as harmless entertainment can gradually turn into an addiction with devastating consequences. For 33-year-old Muchihamu Wanga, what started as an innocent attempt to make money after losing his job eventually brought more problems than rewards, particularly in his marriage. Hoping that football betting would provide him with an income, Mwiche became deeply involved in the habit, which soon began affecting his relationship with his wife, 34-year-old Patience Chidoshi. According to Patience, Mwiche's obsession with betting reached alarming levels. On one occasion, he allegedly woke her up in the middle of the night by splashing water on her while she slept, demanding money to place bets. She told the court that he would threaten to chase her from the house if she refused to comply. Out of fear and a desire to keep peace in the home, Patience says she often gave in to his demands and even borrowed money for him to continue betting. She further tells court that Muiche forced her to use her payslip and personal details to obtain loans from various lending institutions, which accumulated to more than 60,000 kwacha. However, the betting problem was not the only issue that brought the matter before the court. Patience explains that while men are usually hired to assist with household chores, cooking, cleaning, washing and caring children, Muiche took all himself, losing his job. At the end of each month, he would allegedly demand payment from her for looking after their own children. Having already developed fear of her husband, Patience says she paid him whenever he made such demands. She also informs the court that she had on numerous occasions sought intervention from Muiche's family in an effort to resolve their marital problems, but all attempts proved unsuccessful. Left with no other option, she eventually took the matter to court. Upon hearing his wife's testimony, Muiche did not waste the court's time. He admitted his wrongdoing, apologized repeatedly, and pleaded for a second chance. He acknowledged that his behavior had been unacceptable and told the court that he needed counseling in order to become a better husband and father. Although Muiche apologized several times during the proceedings, Magistrate Charity Milambo advised him that true remorse is demonstrated through actions rather than just words. She urged him to prove that he was sorry by changing his behavior. Magistrate Milambo granted the couple, particularly Muiche, 3 months to work on reforming his conduct, while Patience observes whether there is genuine change. She advised Patience that if his behavior does not improve within the period, she would return to court and pursue a divorce. After stepping down from the dock, the couple embraced as a sign of reconciliation and hugged each other. For Muiche, the experience appeared to be a wake-up call, as he finally came to realize that football betting was simply not worth the damage it had caused to his family and marriage. Kondej. Sachingelesu. Ngandu. Reporting for Crown TV News in Osaka.
Now, Mr. Cozy, I know we are in the dying minutes of the show, but betting has become a rising issue that is impacting various homes. And we did see in that story that it could even get to the extent of the man pouring water on his wife, requesting for money just to be able to bet.
That is an addiction.
Mm.
That truly is an addiction. But firstly, we must start from the fact that betting is legal in Zambia. And the Betting Control Act 166 of the laws of Zambia.
That's right.
So for now, it is legal. And what we should emphasize on is for people to be a little bit responsible when they engage in gambling. We have heard quite a lot of people. This is even a better story where we've heard that they have reconciled, and we have heard people that have taken their lives because of betting. Somebody was telling me a story of a student, I don't know how true it is, who used up about 5,000 kwacha in betting and ended up taking his life because he could not stomach the fact that he lost 5,000 kwacha in a very short space of time. But it could have worked for him. Mm. And I'm sure that he could have made a lot more money from that 5,000 kwacha. I know of a colleague, I personally don't bet. I think I've tried this betting. I think it's just not it's just not working for me. I know of somebody who through betting has built. There's a popular story of a conductor from Lima Tower, which I cannot also confirm if it's true or not, who once upon a time won quite a lot of money and in a short period of time became from conductor to buses owner. He owned a fleet of buses from just being a conductor. So it's attractive when you listen to such stories, and people will go for it. But it has its effects. Look, we have a certain young man who his marriage was on the rocks because of betting. Mm. And my other thought is that, you see, the court cannot help in this situation. Mm. What I think that would have really helped in this situation is counseling.
That's right.
And maybe taking him to the rehab, because this an addiction. For you to end an addiction, you really need the help. Need help from these specialized people when it comes to counseling.
I agree, and I think just how it is approached, I think there's certain moments where certain individuals do not look at it as something that does need counseling. I know counseling is not part of our traditional norm in Zambia, but I think it's something people need to be embracing and doing more, because it is such an unfortunate situation that it should even lead to, you know, a home almost being torn apart. But I want to highlight one of our callers who went on to say more recreational facilities. I think this should have been Mr. Victor Chisela, who talked about it's unfortunate that young people are involving themselves in betting or gambling or whatever it is. If I'm not mistaken, I stand to be corrected. But he did speak on the fact that more recreational activities should be created for people, and also young people, or even if it's young people, old people, regardless of where you are, involve yourself in activities that, you know, keep you busy and also earn you some money, but not fast money, you know, because you will find yourself stuck in a loop, which could then only lead to addiction. And, you know, you could be a parent raising children, man in a house, protecting a family, leading a family, and you just lead a family into chaos. And it's quite unfortunate. But as we mentioned earlier, we are in the dying minutes of the show. What did stand out for you during the breakfast show today?
Well, I think what stood out for me is the crowds that the PF Tonsi Alliance, Pamozi Tonsi Alliance is pulling wherever they go, Kitwe and Ndola. I think that this should be a wake-up call to all political parties to up their game and hit the ground running. There are people that there are political parties that have been around and have been talking about coming into power. As Mr. Alik said, this alliance is very new, very, very new. These are people that are coming from other political parties to come and form these new political parties and form up this alliance. So it is very, very new, but look at the crowds it's pulling. So I think that it gives the Socialist Party an opportunity to pull up their stockings or to hit the ground running as well. It gives an opportunity to Honorable Kalaba as well to look at what his impact has been on the ground. So the Tonsi Pamozi Alliance is leading by example, and people must open their eyes as regards what is happening.
I think for me, it's always our viewers just being able to engage with us throughout the entire show. That is something that we do not take lightly, because you are the reason to why we are here every single morning to inform you quite alright, but also to interact with you, because the Royal Breakfast Show is a very interactive show. But unfortunately, we have come to the very end of our show. Keep in mind that the Breakfast Show does come through every single day from Monday to Friday from 6 to 9 a.m. And on Saturday, we do have the King's Breakfast Show, and on Sundays, the Sunrise Breakfast Show. On behalf of Mr. Makoko Kozi, Mike Sakala, Ndashi Mataka, and myself, Zambala Simaliki, it is goodbye and keep watching Crown TV.